Hello everybody, welcome to Ms McLennan's Art Room. So today is lesson 4 for grade prep to 2 and we're looking at our local area and we're looking at the way Aboriginal people used things in the local area to make things with. So today's lesson shows respect to the history, culture, diversity and value of all Aboriginal people. So we're going to learn and have a look at how the DjaDja Wurrung used plants that grew to make all sorts of things. And if you have a look at your worksheet, you can see some of the plants that grow in our local Bendigo area. They use the plants to make all sorts of things. So they use them for food, they use them for medicine, they made weapons and shields and bowls, and they also use them for string, and they also use them for baskets. And today we're going to have a look at some baskets. I've got some that have been made by Aboriginal people that I'm lucky enough to own. And we're going to have a look at making a simple basket of our own as our activity. So these are a few that I've got of my own. This is one my mum had, and my dad gave her that for a present when he went on a fishing trip to Arnhem Land, and that's made from grasses. And you can see how beautiful that one is. It's very natural. And this is a little pouch that I bought in Alice Springs a few years ago when I went there, and this is one of my favourite ones. It's made by the Champi weavers and it's used emu feathers, and I think I like it because of the emu feathers. And I've also had a go myself at learning to weave with an Aboriginal teacher. This is one I made. As you can see, it's a bit wonky. I'm not very good at it because it's a very hard, well, it's not hard to learn, but it's hard to be really good at it. And the people that are weavers have been doing it for a long time and they're very skillful. But it is a fun thing to do. So we're going to have a go at making this one today, and this is the one I prepared earlier. And hopefully by the end of the lesson you will have a beautiful basket when you've finished it. So what you're going to do is you need, if you've got your printer working, so parents could print out a copy of this template and glue it onto some cardboard and cut it out. If your printer doesn't work, like mine isn't at the moment, you can just find a piece of cardboard. This is cardboard off a cornflakes box, and someone's been buying black and gold, not me. And or you could just get a thicker piece, and you can find something to trace around. So you need a big circle around 18 centimeters. So I'm going to use this bowl and trace around that. Then you need a smaller circle around 10 centimeters, and that's in diameter. That means the distance from there to there. So I'm just putting that in the middle, making sure I've got that in the middle as well as I can, and tracing around that. So I have 2 circles like that. Then I'm going to make 11 points around the small circle. So I'm just going to estimate. It doesn't matter if they're not exactly even. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And they didn't work out too badly. So just 11 points like that. It's got to be an uneven number. Then what I'm going to do is cut it out. And you could do this bit. Your parents could make the template. And I think you could do the cutting out if the cardboard's not too hard. You cut that circle and maybe get your parents to do this bit. It's a bit trickier. So what you need to do is make a little V snip into each line like that. And this is going to make the edges of your basket come up. So this is what we're doing, is really making a frame for our basket out of cardboard. So, and you need to make sure you've got an uneven number of flaps, and if you've done an uneven number of lines, it will work that you get an uneven number of flaps. I'm nearly finished cutting them out. And this is so the edges can come up. then bend them a little bit. So bend them around that center circle, like that, to make a basket shape. Okay. And then what we're going to do is start weaving. So because I did a beautiful natural one yesterday when I made this one, I'm going to do a colourful one today. So I've got some colourful scraps, like some of this purple here. So don't worry about your ends. You can tuck those in when you finish with a pencil. So what you're doing is you're going in front, behind, so all the way around, as you can see. So in front, behind, and you're going to continue like that. And you pull it fairly firmly so that you pull the flaps up. So you want to make those sides come up. So now I'm just going to get about half, probably not even halfway up. And it will take a while to do this, but you don't have to finish it in one day. Weaving and playing around with textiles is a great thing to do on rainy, cold days like today. And we've just had a big storm here. And it's very, very black outside. So I might finish with that purple now. Now I might do another colour, so I might do this nice bright colour I've got here. So that's that one there. These are just some scraps that I found at home. You can use string. You could use strips of fabric. And if you're clever, you might even be able to go and find some grasses, like the DjaDja Wurrung used to make their baskets. And what do you think they use their baskets for? You can have a think about that, what you think they might have used their baskets for. And you could send in your answers to me if you like on Dojo. And I'm just going around and round. I also made eel traps with woven reeds. And eel traps were put in streams and creeks to catch eels, which are very long black things that look like snakes. When I lived on the farm with my parents, my dad was swimming in a river once and an eel wrapped itself around his leg. And he got a big fright, he thought it was a snake. So I'm also going to put a bit of fabric here. So you can use strips of fabric. So you could use a strip of fabric, like you could grab a piece off a piece like this. So just to cut a piece, just tear it and try and get a nice long piece so you don't have to keep changing it all the time, and try and remember where you finished, and then just start the same thing again. So under, over, push it down hard in the sides and pull it nice and tight. That's one thing to remember. Don't make it too loose. So you have to sort of get a bit of pressure on that and pull it nice and tight. And keep going around and round and round until you nearly get to the top. You can see that bit's flapped out there, but I can just tuck that round there and fix it up when I finish at the end. So, and this is a nice long piece of fabric. It's going to take me a long way. So I would continue on. Now I'm not going to finish this whole basket because it will take too long and you'll get sick of watching. So this is the one I did yesterday, and you can see that I nearly got to the top, and it looks quite neat because I pulled it nice and tight. And then I'd found these feathers out in the paddock when I was going for a walk a few days ago, and they're wild bird feathers. I poked those in, and I also cut a piece of fabric. So I used my template and cut a piece of fabric and put it there. And just to show you too, I also found in my garden, I found some lamandra I've got growing, and that's one of the grasses that the local DjaDja Wurrung used. And they see how it's got a split down the middle, and they would split it in half and let that dry for a few days, and then they would wet it again, and then it would be pliable. That means it's bendy, so that they could weave it. So you could even, if you're clever, you might even be able to weave a little bit of that in your basket, or you could sit some bits up like that for some decoration. You know, whatever you find. You might find some gum nuts and put it in it and make it really pretty. So have a go at doing your woven basket, and which has been inspired by Indigenous weavers. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.